Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Ritardando YouTube channel page. Myself Supreet. Today in this video going to learn Trinity initial grade piano third piece, that is Summer Swing. So let me play the first two lines and then we'll go on tutorial on these two lines. This is about the first two lines of the Summer Swing. So let's start having a look on this piece. So before when you start this piece, we have to check its BPM tempo, that is written as allegretto. As we discussed allegretto in the second piece, allegretto means it's something playing at some brisk speed, that is means somewhat high speed. So that's why the BPM here is 120 beats per minute. And now we can observe after the treble clef signature and the bass clef signature, you have the key signature here. In that key signature, you can easily get to know that's on the fifth line in treble clef and the fourth line in the left bass clef. So that is F sharp. So that what is the meaning of this key signature? You already know that it has got two meanings. One is if you find any F note of any octave in this piece, that should be played as F sharp in both treble and bass. And one more meaning is it indicates in which key the song or the piece is in. So if it is having alone F sharp, that means it is on G major scale. It may be in E minor scale also, but after playing you get a feel of happy or joyous or peace. So that's why we can easily say it's in major. Hence why we can select it as G major scale. Time signature is 3/4. This means there are 3 quarter beats in each bar. Now if you observe the first bar here, the notes are given B and C. That's also 2 8 notes. So 2 8 notes together makes how many beats total? That is only 1 beat. But according to a time signature, it is 3 4. So that should be a 3 quarter beats, right? But why there is only 1 quarter beat we see in the first bar? Actually, this is how the composition is done. That means this piece is going to start on the third metronome beat. Usually it's not mandatory or nothing like that. All the piece or all the composition should start on the first beat itself, nothing like that. So here in this case, it has been started on the last beat of a previous bar, we can say. Hence that's why we see only 1 beat at the first bar. So observing the right hand now, let's start with the 8 notes. It's given B and C, and starting with the B with second finger. So I'm going to play B, C, and then you have the second bar, you have the D note. Okay, as usual you understand D should be played with your fourth finger, but when you play the fourth finger, one thing you need to observe, that note is D, and what kind of a note value the D is that D is dotted crochet. That means it's taking 1.5 beat. If the D is starting on the first metronome beat, then it's going to sustain till 2.5th metronome beat. These metronome beats are nothing but you're going to count from your virtual mind, so that helps you to identify actually where the locations of these notes respectively has to fall. So you're going to play the D on the first metronome beat, and then you have the second metronome beat. You're not supposed to play anything there, and just half beat after that, that is 2.5th, you have the next note, that is E note. And if you see that E note is nothing but a single quiver, single 8 note. So E has to be for only half a beat. So E you played on the 2.5th metronome beat now, correct? And then E is only half beat. That means from 2.5th to only third beat, its time lasts, the E note. And as usual, the third metronome beat comes and you have the last note of the second bar, that is the D note. That's as usual quarter note. So that's what 1 2, and I said it's not going to start on the first metronome beat, it's going to start on the third metronome beat. So 1 2 B C, and then D comes again, first metronome beat, 1 2 1. This is how the timing goes. So in this case, quite difficult because it's a piano syllabus and you don't get any metronome sound to hear it. So even in examinations also you don't get to hear that. Then how to analyze this metronome beat? That means in this case you can just count in your mind with the numbers saying 1 2 3, and wherever if there is a note which are in a half beat or 1.5 beat, and those decimal beated things you can say with the name called and. So 1 and 2, and that means what I'm saying is, if you see the first bar, you have the B and C note. So how are you going to say? B is going to start in the third beat, so 3 and. Of course the metronome beat goes like 3 4, but in between 3 and 4 you have the and to say. So 1 2 3 and 1. So that is how it helps you. And then you played the first metronome beat, the D note here, and then 1 two and. When the and you say two and that and place, you're going to play the E note, which is eighth note. So 1, 2 and 3. This is going to easily understanding you to the beats. So from the first bar, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3. So this helps you to find out the metronome beats. That's about the 2 bars. Let's join the bass clef also now. So in the first bar you don't have anything to play on the bass, and the next second bar you have something to play. So you can find out those notes. They are nothing but G and B with respectively with 3 and 5 fingers. Sorry, 5 and 3 fingers. And this G and B together has been written under the second bar, first beat. So first bar you don't have anything, however. So B, C and D comes, you're going to play this one. And again you play the D note, again you're going to hit this G and B again. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3. This is about the timings of the first 2 bars. Let's go to the third bar. You have the B note again, and this time again you have the second finger on B, and this is the same again timings you need to understand. So B is again 1.5, that is called dotted crochet or dotted quarter note. So B is going to play for 1.5 beat. So 1, 2 and when you say, then you have to play the next note, that is C note, which is the 8th note again. And C is again 8th note, that means you're going to play only for a half a beat, and then immediately you come back to the B note. So totally 3 bars, and joining the bass clef, it's not difficult. So when you play in the third bar B note, you have the G and D to be played on the left. Yes, this is how you play. If you can count the metronome beats for the first 3 bars, it's going to sound like this: 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. So this is about the metronome beats. If I mute myself saying, so you may understand better. So this is about the 3 bars. Going for the 4th bar, it's almost same with the timings, only change in the notes. First metronome beat you have the A note, and now the finger is assigned for the next. After A you have the B note. So it's in general we'll come to know that you have to play the second finger on the B note, but here it's not. They have already assigned third finger, so requesting you to play the third finger, B, A, and after 3 you have the A note with the second finger. And joining with the bass clef, when you play the 4th bar first metronome, the A note, you have C and D together notes. Can you see the C and D? They are sharing same stem, because the C and D you cannot write them with the same direction. Hence why the C is in the left side and the D is in the right side faced. That's why they both share a single stem. So you have yes, this is how you played the 4 beats. This is what you played. Going to the last bar of the first line, you have the first finger assigned again, the G note, and that's a quarter note. So on the first metronome you play the G note, and of course this is, since it's a quarter note, you're going to play the next D on the second metronome beat. The 5th finger, pinky finger, is going to play for D. And now when you stop at D note, I would like to say one more thing, that is, starting from this line, from the B note for the first bar, you have some line joined from that B to the last whatever you played, the D note, and that line is known as slur. That means legato. That means you're going to play all the notes included inside them with the smooth connections. When we did the first 2 pieces of this Trinity initial grade, they are Allegretto and the Old German Dance, we didn't have this line. So that's why I used to play like with the detached notes. Like this is how we used to play the detached note, and also this concept has been explained in the first piece also. And now, but there's a line, so you're going to play all them like connected, like C, B, C, D, E, D. I'm combining the notes. I'm not playing like this. So I'm not lifting any fingers. So all the notes you're playing, they are connected. So that's the meaning. And also you observe it's starting with the dynamics mezzo forte, that's medium loud. So from there to till D, when you play till there, you have to play it mezzo forte. Still the bar hasn't completed. It still has 2 more 8 notes. They are B and C again, and B with the second finger now. But there's a change, is you don't see the same dynamics there, but you see piano. So that means you're going to soften it. That is how you're going to play. The same thing was there in the first bar, but it was with mezzo forte, so you played like casual play. It's a mezzo forte, but you have now piano, so going to be soft. Then you'll be headed to the second line.